Hey, good looking y'all for fucking with my channel. Like, I just made this channel like about 2 weeks ago, and I just made one video and I just left it alone. And then I came back to it like a couple days later, and it just was up like at like 1,000, 2,000. Like, that was pretty quick just for like having no subscribers. And ever since then, like every night, like one video would hit 1,000 overnight and 2,003 in a couple days. And like, I'm just saying real shit about Sacramento history and like the current state it's in right now, rappers, streetwise, all the shit. But like, I'm not a nigga of like screen recording motherfuckers and instigating and shit, cause I got family from every side, and I am still an active member, of Strawberry Manners. And that's not nothing, I ain't with the self-snitching shit, that ain't nothing new to people that know me. Like, I've been a validated gang member since 13, since juvenile hall, and it's just regular. But I'm not gonna be biased or none of that shit. Like, I can talk about my ops and everything. Like, I'm not gonna say too much because I'm not trying to shed so much light on that shit. Like, trying to glorify the funk with them niggas or none of that shit. But I'm just scratch the surfaces and just, bring up the things y'all want in the comments. And speaking of comments, it been a lot of comments that I gotta respond to every day. So if I don't get back, then I just can't get back. But my name is Hittahrich. Link in the description. IG Hittahrich. Cash App, PayPal, all that shit. I ain't really too much worried about. But if you want to send whatever, I appreciate it. Shout out to, I can't remember his name, but he know who he is. You sent me a Cash App. That was real. That was solid. I respect that. You just respect the work. And the fucking subscribers is going through the roof. Like, that shit went from 212 to 400, 300, 400. Now it's at 500. Like, that's big. Like, that's fast at a rapid pace. I'm going back and looking at all my overall views. It's at 40,000, 60,000. Like, that shit just like happened overnight. And if you know me, you probably know me from Facebook. Outside of the streets, you probably know me from Facebook. Hittahrich. I got a lot of viral videos, probably over 1 million views just off of Facebook alone. But I had to restart a lot of pages and all that shit. Niggas be hating, that shit all come with it. So if it's any disrespectful comments, I'm going to just delete it, or I'm just not even going to even respond to it. But I'm not here to talk about who killed who. I'm not a detective. I'm not none of that shit. I'm not investigating who killed who. Like, that's street politics, and I'm going to leave it where it's at. I'm speaking on things that's publicly known and that everybody know about. And yeah, and I'm gonna probably change my IG from Hittahrich to Sacramento Street Wars, because it's just the thing. And I'm gonna start making merch, beanies, shirts, and I'm just branding and shit. Like, everything is like, every time I do some social media shit, it just happened to like just go up for like, and never even expected this. I don't wake up thinking of shit to try. I just press the record button and just start and just go off. And and some things is meant for some people, some things is not. And I guess I'm just one of them people. So I'm finna come with the merch. Sacramento Street Wars merch coming soon. But let's get into the next segment. I want to talk about Rellz World, Triggers, and like Beast Mob coming from Highlands to the Heights and shit like that. But like, as far as like Rellz World, like, that shit didn't come about until like, I say about like 2013. Like 2014, it like kicked off. Like 2013, I got locked up. And I did 3 years up until like 2016, early January. Like, and so I was gone for a lot of like, I knew of Rellz World because like, it all started from like Little Mark from 38. And, he passed like 2011, maybe, 2011, 2010, up in there. And they like carried that on in the memory of his name, and like Shotty. And he passed like 2012, 11, up in there, somewhere in there. Like, I know, but I just can't remember right now. So up in there, but But yeah, man. So like as it started to form and like take off, and that's because Young Life came about like 2011, 2010. Young Life been a thing in the Manners. Like that's the clique within the Manners. That been a thing, but it wasn't like entertainment with Kels and Feezy and PA and all the homies. Like it wasn't a Money Me's. It wasn't entertainment until like I was locked up to like 2013 and shit like that. And Jack Boy, that's when we formed Jack Boys, like around 2010. If you know, you know. And that's most of the homies, and that's homies, my homies from my hood too. Like that everybody got their own circle of homies they hang with. And a couple of niggas from the P that we had and that shit. And of course June on the beat. And that's gonna be another segment of June on the beat. And yeah, like so Rellz World and Young Life, everybody know it was Manners in the Heights, so they just didn't like each other. But like as far as like Beast Mob coming to the Heights, like I still don't really know. Like I'm not a nigga like getting information from people and then telling y'all about it. This is like just coming off the top of my like knowledge. Of my knowledge, that's just coming off the top. But it might have been niggas that moved from Highlands and moved to the Heights and that's how it formed Beast Mob, early 2000s. Or I could be wrong. Or either or they moved to Highland, moved back, or somewhere of that nature. But like speaking of like triggers and shit, like Trigga Mob, it's like one of them gangs like full of a lot of different niggas. Cause it's niggas from my hood, like we call them, it's niggas from my hood that flipped into triggers. And like we don't fuck with them no more because like that's like dropping out. Cause like you went to one mob to another mob. So Trigga Mob. But we don't really fuck with them. Like, and like Trigga's full of like, it's South niggas, it's Bay niggas, it's in Arden bound. Like somebody wanted me to talk about Arden. Like that's it. Arden bound is starting to be a lot of just people in Arden. They was like the first niggas over there, like off of Edison and Ethan and Whiter and all that shit. They was the niggas like over there. And now it's just starting to be a spillage of just different niggas, South niggas. And like I said, everybody's just everywhere in Sacramento now. It's not like everybody just in their hood. Niggas just all over the place. But Trigga's just full of different like groups of niggas from the Heights, from niggas from that used to be from the Manners, and it might be niggas that was somebody from the P wasn't really nobody and just went and fuck with them niggas and start and just banging triggers and shit. But like they just but it started from like some Heights niggas, so it's just a form of just different groups of niggas, and they niggas, that's probably why niggas don't fuck with that shit or whatever. But like it like all this like beef shit like in my era just kicked off like early 2000s, like, but that was still niggas was still dancing and it was still school shit and niggas was still cool with each other. And like I could speak on Stunner Fam too. I'm gonna bring them in this too. Stunner Fam was like a group of niggas from Heights too, and it was niggas from my hood. And like, that's the hyphy era. So I could see like niggas being cool on some like dancing shit and going to functions and shit like that. And they just like niggas stop fucking with that shit. Like as like gang shit start happening and niggas start like, nigga, nah, bro, choosing sides. Like, nah, bro, we ain't fucking with y'all. Like, this happened, that happened. Like, the Stunner Fam shit start coming like to a dead end. And like, niggas from the hood, like, had to stop fucking with that shit. And you from the Manners, bro, we ain't cut, we ain't none of that shit. The Manners never was cut. Like, we fuck with the P hard. Them the homies for real. Like, I lived in the P. And a lot of my homies probably did, and it's niggas from the P that lived in the hood and niggas family and shit. But like even like we ain't no cut. Like it's the Manners, period. But like a lot of that shit just you know, like a group of niggas that just everybody damn near kind of knew each other, and niggas just fell out. Like, you know how people just grow up and don't see eye to eye no more, and that's really what it is. Like, I'm gonna get more deep into it, but I'm just scratching on the surface, and just to put a longer video that y'all wanted, because I'm saying I'm doing short videos, but it's just, this shit just new. All this shit just new, and I'm trying to just, you know, put it in an order to where people could understand at first, and then I would get deep in context about, you know, different shit. Like, you can request whatever, and I'll talk about it, but if you know more history than me, then you can hit me up on IG, DMs, and we could talk about it or whatever. And, you know, we can make it make sense. Hittahrich, Street Wars, gang.